Hi, my name is Timetra White. I am the author of a children's book. It's called Finding Liv. I've always wanted to write a children's book. However, I just never knew when was the right time. I did know, though, that I wanted the topic to be on mental health because that's an area that I struggled with in college, playing basketball at Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia. So COVID came, the beginning of COVID, and there was a stay-at-home order. And so I knew then, I was like, this is the right time to go to write the book. So I started researching the mental health topics for children's books and then to see what was out there. And then I prayed about it and I came to the conclusion that Find and Live is going to be centered around the theme of athletic identity. So we're going to read the book first, and then we're going to dive into that topic. So let's read. My identity is not in sports. This is some great news that I'm happy to report. I am Olivia, and I love to be active. Since I have your attention, it is time to hold you captive. I am a beautiful young lady who plays basketball, and I must say that I practice daily. But don't get me wrong, I love to wear a dress, no matter if it's short or long. Swimming is really my favorite sport because it relaxes my mind. It also gives my body support. Although my love for sports is full of meaning, I imagine doing other things. My mom always catches me daydreaming. So I wish upon a star to let my mom wonder because my dreams consist of me going far. I dream about individual awards and team awards when it comes to basketball. I also dream of laps and laps in a pool being scored. I dream of cereal boxes, trophies, and medals. I can hardly control my dreams because I see myself at the highest level. Wait, hold up, wake me up from this dream. Please give me a mirror so I can see myself scream. Okay, now I'm awake. Don't mind me. I just want to celebrate. I can finally think clearly. I need you to believe me because I'm talking sincerely. People identify me as a swimmer and they recognize my technique. They say I flow like the river. By no means do sports define who I am. I am not peanut butter. Sports is just my jam. I love to read and I love math. I love to go to church because it keeps me on the right path. I just love to learn. To make a difference is what I yearn. I am a leader and a game changer. However, I try my best to stay out of danger. Once again, my identity is not in sports. This is some great news that I'm happy to report. The end. All right, so the main character for Find and Live is Olivia. All right, she was a basketball player and a swimmer. Early in childhood, kids are trying to figure out who they are in the world, discover what their place in the world. And so at times, if they're really good in sports, they start to identify themselves as the really good basketball player or the awesome tennis champion. And so in this book, you see that Olivia is an athlete, but she realizes that she's more than sports, right? She realizes that she loves math, she loves reading, and she loves to go to church. And she also loves to learn. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is what are the tips on being more than an athlete? How can you be more than an athlete? And so there's three main tips for being more than an athlete. The first one is finding an interest in education. Second is picking up a hobby. And the third is developing social skills outside of your immediate athletic circle. I want to talk about hobby. So hobbies are good because they have many benefits, right? It helps you learn a new skill. It helps you to relax, right? Get your mind off of the stress of life. and to relax. It helps you build a social circle, helps you with time management. It helps you with handling pressure. It also helps you with possibly shaping your career because it could be somewhere you land for your life path. And it supports your overall well-being, your emotional well-being, as well as your physical health. So we're going to bring these tips from 4 perspectives: elementary school, middle school, high school, and college. So let's get started with elementary school. So finding the interest in education, right? You're going to be discovering in those years, you're going to be discovering the fundamentals of reading, writing, math, science, and social studies. So your goal should be like figuring out what's your favorite subject and just dive into that, right? Then we talk about picking up a hobby. You can do singing, and these are just some examples. You can do singing, jewelry design, painting, gymnastics, dance, and playing an instrument. These are just a few. But I do remember playing an instrument, learning how to play an instrument in elementary school. I remember learning to play a violin, and that helped me while I was in elementary school. And then developing a social circle, developing social relationships, outside of your athletic social circle. So learning how to make friends, learning how to be able to work well with others, right? Working well with your classmates as well as your friends. Now we move it on to middle school. All right, for education, you learn about different careers outside of sports. That's one of the focuses in middle school. But you also continue the development of your academic skills, right? Within English, which is reading and writing, and then your math, science, and social studies. And also you learn to figure out how to apply independent study skills, learn how to study independently. For hobbies, it kind of changes a little bit more advanced. You can do coding, computer programming, singing, skating, sketching. You can join a club or you can join a debate team. For the social relationships, you learn how to deal with the pressures of every day, learning how to deal with everyday pressure. And also at that age, you're kind of working on respecting the differences of your peers, respecting the differences of your classmates and your friends. And that's important as you get older. Going to high school. So each step is a little bit more advanced and they kind of build on each other. So in high school, it's a really good opportunity to be able to learn, explore, and prepare for your future higher education or your professional career or just adulthood. If you do not go into your typical education, higher education, you go into a trade. But research the subjects and activities that may be interests of you, right? Figure out what your strengths are. Figure out your interests, right? It could be academic interests, it could be your electives, it could be extracurricular, right? But making sure that you have good study habits, making sure that you have good organization skills and good note-taking skills and concentration skills, right? Don't get distracted, right? Like one of my high school teachers used to say, don't major in the minors, focus on the future and find your interests. Picking up a hobby, right? You can learn a foreign language because at this time you're doing foreign languages within school, within your elective. So you can learn a foreign language, you can hike, you can camp, you can even do stand-up comedy, right? You can do a YouTube channel. You can get into cosmetology, doing hairstyles. You can do baking, learn about makeup. You can volunteer, do something of service, yoga, martial arts, babysitting. You can do some drama. You know, in high school, they have a lot of stage plays, a lot of drama, theater things. So that's a good opportunity. You can do things with nature, build a garden. You can tutor or just join a club. And also for social relationships, work on teamwork, grow your teamwork skills. And within those teams, you can grow your leadership skills. Also, you can grow your critical thinking as well as problem solving skills. For high school, for college, for college, right? Set SMART goals. What is SMART? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals. It's very important to set measurable goals, but also set attainable goals, something that you can attain within the college years. That's also realistic though. Examples can be complete your bachelor's in 4 years, get an internship, pursue research opportunities, join a student organization, and within that organization, get a leadership position, join a mentorship program, get to know your professors. Super important, know your professors, because if you're playing college sports, you're going to be missing some classes. And so if you get to know your professors, then you can be able to get your help when you return back to class. Join study groups, very important. Join study groups, attend career workshops and career fairs, and build a professional network. Excuse me. Pick up a hobby, event planning, be a content creator. That's huge now. Web design, photography, cooking and baking, make candles, make soap, arts and crafts, pottery, quilting, knitting and sewing, or learn strategic mind games, chess, backgammon, Sudoku, or you can blog. And for social relationships, expand your culture exposure and develop a great world perspective. Because at college, you have a chance to meet people from all over, from various states, countries. So create relationships with people from other states, cultures, as well as countries. And in order to be able to do these tips, though, there's one critical piece. You got to have exposure. Exposure is really important, right? Exposure is super important and it's needed. So I'm going to give myself a plug. I have a podcast, right? And our first episode was the importance of exposure. The podcast it's called the Mental Pulse Podcast. It's found on Spotify, Apple, and Google. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you rate and provide a review. But in order to do the tips to be more than your sport, you got to have exposure. Attend educational camps, space camps, STEM camps, speech and debate camp, all right, nature camp, farm camp, explore the arts, get music, drawing, acting, drama, or painting lessons. Join a youth organization, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, 4-H, civic groups, and church groups. All right. And that's from a holistic standpoint. From an athletic standpoint, attend sports camps. Start at your local high school, start at your local colleges and attend those. Train outside of your standard practice, right? Skill development, agility training, weight training. Play on a competitive travel team. Do your research on the program and the team that you're joining, and also the coaches before you join. Very important, because you might not want to join that team once you do the research. Promote yourself, right? Positively though. Post on social media, your highlight reels, your stats, your game images. One of the things I know and I've done research on is Twitter is one of the biggest places that college coaches really interact on, the highest social media platform that they interact on. So create a Twitter account and post your highlight reels, your stats, and your game images. Also post your GPA, your ACT score, and your graduation year. And lastly, keep a clean off the field profile, right? Colleges and universities want a high character person in competition, but they also want a high character person out of competition. Be mindful of what you post on social media, but also be mindful of what you do in life. That's all I have for you today. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Please get a copy of my book, Find and Live, right? Find and Live. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it online at Books A Million. You can find it online at Barnes and Nobles. You can find it on my website, www.thementalpulse.com. And you can find it online if you live in Alabama, Decatur, Alabama, or if you're traveling through Decatur, Alabama. It's actually in the bookstore of Brown Books and More. All right. Also, subscribe to my podcast, The Mental Pulse Podcast. It's on Google, Apple, and Spotify. All right. Subscribe, give me a good rating, and also provide a review. Thank you so much. Please support my book, Find and Live. Take care.